Welcome to my first video. Crisis DN here. Super excited about this. Been wanting to do this for a while. With hockey season coming up, I figured this was the best time to start. 2022-2023 season coming fastly approaching. We got to get equipment, right? So my first video is all about equipment and just general equipment tips. I'm going to follow it up pretty quickly with specific equipment videos. My first is going to be discussing like details about buying a hockey helmet. But for this video, I'm just going to talk about general equipment tips in my 12 plus years as a hockey parent slash manager slash coach. Been involved in youth hockey for quite a while. I've learned a lot of lessons about equipment, and I just want to pay that forward to all our new or even just starting like the last year or two youth parents, grandparents, guardians, anyone who's bringing a young girl or boy to the rink. Want to make sure that they have the right stuff, they're geared appropriately for when they get on that ice so they can perform as well as they can, not have to worry about equipment malfunctions or equipment issues. So I'm super excited about paying this forward, and I hope you enjoy this video. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to talk about is just general, like where do you get the stuff? Like where can I find hockey equipment? If you live in a area where hockey is prevalent, like where you have a lot of rinks, you have a lot of hockey, a lot of interest in hockey, it's fairly easy. First place you can start is at what they call a pro shop. So rinks, especially good sized hockey rinks, will typically have a pro shop, which has all kinds of equipment. It usually has everything you need to properly equip your son or daughter or youth player for the game of hockey. I mean, this is for skaters. Goalies, maybe not. Goalies, it might be difficult, and I'll have to do videos on that as well. But for players, for sure, just regular skaters, you could probably find everything you need at the pro shop. Problem with that is that stuff is going to be expensive. Hockey equipment is expensive enough as it is. When you buy it at a pro shop, it's going to be marked up, so it's going to be super expensive. So my recommendation is that's not where you buy the stuff, but if you're in a pinch, especially if something breaks when you're at the rink, it's better than nothing, but I wouldn't recommend you doing a full purchase of everything at the pro shop. My recommendation is that you buy online if you can. Unfortunately, Amazon is not a place you can find this stuff online. You can find some stuff, but it's typically not what you find like typical brands like Bauer, CCM. So I would not buy that stuff online at Amazon. I'm sorry, I wouldn't buy it from Amazon. There is a great website called hockeymonkey.com. I'll put that link in the video. That's where I buy all my kids' new stuff at. It's a great website. They typically have some good deals, clearance items. Just got to keep a watch out for it. You can set up your email to where it sends you deal alerts. But I definitely recommend using Hockey Monkey if you're going to buy new. Buying used, Play It Again Sports. We've all heard of Play It Again Sports. Again, if you live in an area where hockey is prevalent, you could probably find some good used equipment at Play It Again Sports. So that's a great option. An online option for used stuff is sidelineswap.com. I'll put a link in the video for that as well. That's a great place. I just actually started using that the last couple of years, and this past year, or after this off season, coming into this season, I needed to buy new skates for my daughter, or get her a new pair of skates, and ended up going on Sideline Swap and found a great pair of almost brand new skates that were used, but they're half off the sticker price when they were like a new sticker price, in fantastic condition. I don't know if they'd ever been used, to be honest with you. They're in such good shape. A pair of Bauers, and I couldn't be happier with that purchase. But Sideline Swap's a great place to go. We all know that kids they grow so fast. We deal with this every year, even when they're not playing hockey. If they're just school shopping, right? You'd be lucky to get a full year of schooling without having to buy multiple pairs of shoes, different size clothes, because they grow out of it so fast. So same with hockey equipment. It's and with hockey equipment, this stuff's very expensive. Ice time alone is just so expensive. So on top of that, buying all this equipment, having to buy it over and over and over again through a season is just, it's just takes such a toll on your wallet. So if you can't, I'm saying that because if you can buy used, buy used. There's nothing wrong with buying used equipment. I mentioned Play It Again Sports, sideline swap. As long as it's in good shape, there's nothing wrong with buying used equipment. I've been using mostly used stuff for both my kids throughout their time in hockey, especially when my son was playing and I wasn't making as much as I do now. Finding that stuff used is huge, huge help. Also, quite often hockey clubs that you're part of or associations that your kids are playing in, they'll have equipment swaps at the beginning of the year or like a month before the season starts, so you can go to those and do equipment swaps, which is great. I typically, I'm lazy, so instead of, I have a bunch of used stuff, instead of going online or, putting it online like eBay or, I'm sorry, Sideline Swap, I'm just too lazy because then I would have to ship the stuff, so I'd just rather just pay it forward and give it to somebody. So I definitely utilize Sideline Swap, and usually the stuff I have, it's in good shape. So I would never, if it was not in good shape, I would never give that and allow somebody else to use it. So every time I turn stuff in, it's in great shape. So buy used if you can. I mean, when I get into specific videos or videos talking about specific equipment, there are some pieces of equipment that I would recommend. Not saying not used, but they better be in really good shape. Helmets is one. Like, you don't want to mess around with someone's, your kid's head. So make sure if you're buying a used helmet that it is in good shape. Also skates, I try to buy that are in really good shape. But used is not a problem, just that they're in good shape and the boot's not going to fall apart and the blade's not going to fall out and that kind of stuff. Just the rest of the equipment, though, as long as the straps and Velcro is all good, you can buy used. It can have tears in it, it's not a big deal. But as long as it doesn't look like it's going to fall apart, it's good to go. Sizing, if you can't find a store, if you live in an area where there's not a whole lot of equipment to try on, especially through Hockey Monkey, the different brands like Bauer, CCM, Warrior, they do a pretty good job of telling you how to measure your children, your kids, and then telling you what the size would be, the recommended size based on the measurements that they tell you to take. So they're pretty accurate. I would tell you that, like I said, if you can't find something to try on, that you can do the measurements and probably get away with it. If you're really unsure and you have the ability to get to size the stuff, again, go to a pro shop. Don't buy it there though; it's so expensive. But go ahead and just try the stuff on. And I would tell you that even if you can't find the same model, say you try something on CCM at the pro shop, whatever model it is, CCM Tax, and you go to Hockey Monkey and they have CCM Lightspeed, but it's the same size, there's a good chance that it'll fit the same. They don't jump around sizes typically within the brand. So use hockey specific equipment. I hope I don't have to tell people this, but I've seen it before where kids show up and they got like lacrosse gloves for hockey. It's like, no, you can't. Like, if they're going to play the sport, make sure they're equipped properly. Because your kid, believe it or not, ice is slippery, And even with sharpened skates, when they go out there, if they've never skated before, guess what? They're going to fall. And they're going to fall, and they're going to fall. They're going to fall a lot. And they should be encouraged to fall. Because if they're falling, they're trying, they're taking chances, they're trying to learn how to use their feet with blades on them just to move around. So you want them to be able to not worry about falling. Because if they're worried about falling, because when they fall, they hit their knee and it hurts, they hit their elbow and it hurts, they hit, whatever and it hurts, then they're not going to want to fall, which means they're not going to want to take chances on the ice. And you don't want that. You want them to fall and laugh and get back up and keep going. Because eventually they won't fall anymore. They won't fall as much. But you have to equip them properly to have that happen. Fit is important. I already talked about trying stuff on. You want to make sure the stuff is not too tight where it's constricting them. It hurts when I have it on. But at the same time, you don't want it loose. You don't want to have it falling off. You don't want to have it falling down. Like if you have an elbow pad that slides down or a knee pad that slides down and it hit the ice, that's painful. It's going to hurt. Seen it happen. So you want to make sure the stuff fits properly and stays where it's meant to stay while they're playing. That's crucial. I would make sure that stuff fits well. And like I said, if you buy used, all the straps work correctly. Because if the Velcro is on its last legs, then it's not going to stay where it needs to stay, which means that equipment's going to fall. It's going to shift, and then you're going to find out at the least opportune time. It's when your elbow connects to the ice, and it's ouch. I'll talk about my mistakes I've made. I've made plenty buying equipment. The reason why I know a lot of this stuff is because I've made many mistakes buying equipment because I just didn't know who to ask, didn't ask the right people. Was too afraid to ask, just thought I knew what I was doing. So I'm hoping that's why you're watching this video, is because you just don't know. So that's why I'm just trying to help and pay it forward and hopefully help you not make the mistakes that I've made. I would not expect anyone on the team to be able to, I would not wait to ask folks on the team to help you with this. One, you'll have a team manager probably. There's a good chance that they don't know. They may be coming into this brand new. Their spouse may be the one that buys stuff, and that person's just not there. They're working. They're just not coming to the practices. So I wouldn't rely on them. While you could ask the coach, keep in mind that the coach is a volunteer and he's there to do one thing, and that's to coach your kid on the ice, to prepare your kid for practice, to get them on the ice and herd those cats, because they are cats. I mean, they're kids. It's difficult to just to keep some kind of order out there on the ice. He's also trying to utilize your ice time effectively. So the last thing you want them to do is to get on the ice and then do an equipment inspection, because that's wasting ice time. You want your kids moving, because that ice is expensive, one, and it's limited. You only have so much time in practice, so you want those kids to learn how to skate. You want them moving around. You don't want them standing around waiting for a coach inspection. If you get it, also the coach, he's got like 15, 16 players that he's trying to manage. It's going to be hard to get time with them to do an equipment check. And I'm not saying you can't, but also by the time you do that, you've already bought the stuff. So there's a good chance he's going to say, yeah, that's not right, that stick's too short, those pads don't fit right, your kid's skates are too loose. You don't want to find that out then, because now you're scrambling to find new stuff and you're paying double for the equipment. So recommend you not do that. Like I said, I'm hoping these videos that I'm going to do will help you with that. I'm going to follow up this video with the helmet video, and then I'm going to do a series of these over the next couple months, and I'm hoping they help. But again, Crisis DN here, excited to do this, happy to pay it forward, excited for the season. I hope everyone's excited for the season, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.